My great viewers, you are welcome to our channel once again. My name is still Chinedu. Yes, today we are going to continue from where we stopped earlier. Why I said we are going to continue from where we stopped is because there was a kind of argument when I made a presentation about the great city of Onitsha. People know how important Onitsha is and how big Onitsha is in Igbo land and Nigeria as a whole, even in Africa. So the discussion is not something that we can just abandon. To me, I felt that it was, giving a reasonable end and conclusion to it. So as regards that my video about Onitsha, when I made the presentation, we drive through Onitsha and people were very happy, seeing the video. But this one is a continuation from where we stopped. Everything about Onitsha will be showcased also. And it's our pleasure to present Onitsha to you once again. But the major issue now is that's our discussion about Onitsha. As regards when I made mention of the villages and why some of Onitsha people make some kind of phrase or statement. So some people throw in their suggestion why, as in their own view about that. Some of the views in that our discussion includes that Onitsha people believe to have migrated from Benin to Onitsha. Just be taking notes, because I am driving at somewhere. So let's just understand these things, and I will straighten the whole thing, because we have been opportune to get this knowledge that I'm going to present in this video from an elder around Onitsha axis. So the elder summarized the whole thing, of which I'm going to tell you people now, but we are going to take it gradually. Then, if you have not subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and click on the subscription button. Let's hear your views about this video, about this discussion. Like this video, share it. Share this video so that others will see and understand what we are talking about. Okay? Then, I have mentioned first that someone said that the Onitsha people, they migrated from Benin to Onitsha. Fine and good. The person, I will not say he is wrong. He is correct in his own aspect. Then another said it was only one man that came and settled from Benin, and he married women from Anambra State and started having children. This man too, this idea too, I say is still correct based on what I will present that will conclude all these things. Then another view said that Obi of Onitsha is bearing the same name as other obis in Delta State, in some towns in Delta State, which is correct. They are bearing the same Obi name, which is correct. So then finally another idea said there was a misunderstanding within the royal family in Benin that made some of the members known as Umuezechima to sojourn away from the land and settle first in Iseluku, and later some moved further towards down, that is the present Onitsha now, which is also correct, and it concurs with the story I am going to give from that elder. So all these observations are correct based on what I will present. Okay? So we will showcase all the Onitsha areas for you, all the areas, inland towns, the major areas that you can see in Onitsha. They are here. This is Oguta Road. I'm moving along Oguta Road. Just have a view of the whole area and how it looks like. Then, having said that, this is all about research that we have made. We are not countering any statement or any research, but it's a personal research made, and it's not by force that people will believe what I'm about to say upon the findings concerning Onitsha. Okay, so let's proceed. So because of the nature of this discussion, discussion it's not just mainly to see Onitsha city and the rest. It has double phase. The idea of looking at the city and the idea of giving meaning to the city as regards our previous discussion, how it started, and we want to give it a reasonable conclusion. Now, let's look at the history of this Onitsha. Just like I said, Onitsha is a popular place. Being a popular place, people are interested to know about Onitsha. So then there is just like I said before, some say that Onitsha is founded by adventurers from Benin in the early 17th century. It grew to become the political and trading center of the small Igbo kingdom of Onitsha. Its monarchical system, which is rare among the Igbos, was patterned after that of Benin. So this is a statement which is also correct based on what I will explain. Okay. This area is we are moving towards Ochanja. We both start at the Ueka Road. That's along that Ochanja axis. This is the Ochanja Road. That's the Ueka Road. Just to explain to you the area we are now. So, but let's continue. Before we go into this story, I will bring in something again. Something that will make you to understand the story that I'm going to present, because it's very important. It's very important that we know this aspect and we bring it in to help the story. So this thing I'm talking about is about the kingdom of Nri. What do you know about the kingdom of Nri? But before I go into the kingdom of Nri, there is another question. People that made their own ideas about Onitsha. Nobody has ever asked why these brothers, as in, Onitsha has other towns as their brothers, like Iseluku them, Onichuku, Onitsha, all those Onitsha places in a delta area that forms part of Onitsha. That's Umwezechima. Nobody has asked why are they answering Umwezechima. Why is their name Umwezechima? You see? And why is the king answering Obi? Obi is an Igbo word, except if otherwise will be proven that is a Bini word. But I know that Umwezechima is an Igbo word, Obi is an Igbo word, and so many other names that these people, the kindreds of that Onitsha, they answer and they speak Igbo as their language. Though their Igbo may be a kind of, blended, of which is the same thing in every Anambra town, in every Igbo town. If you come to Anambra now, the Igbo Ogidi speaks has different dialect with Igbo. The neighboring town, Obosi, they have different dialects. Just like that, every town in Anambra has its own dialect. So these things are the same thing. If Delta Igbo speaks, you understand as an Igbo man. But maybe some different dialects you may not catch up with, but you understand what the person is saying. So as well as every other language has their own different dialects, but it's the same language. I am arriving at somewhere, just follow me. So let me go to the kingdom of Nri. The Nri Kingdom. The kingdom of Nri, in otherwise, Nri, was a medieval polity located in what is now Nigeria. The kingdom existed as a sphere of religious and political influence over a third of Igbo land and was administered by a priest king called Ezenri, a priest king called Ezenri. There is this understanding that I don't know, but some believe that some Igbos come from they are from Hebrew, that's the Jews, because there are some artifacts that are similar with the Hebrew type. And this thing calls for attention. This priest king, the ancient Jews, the head of a place is always the person in charge of religion. They use them as the head of a town. So the same thing applies here. So let's proceed. Then the Ezenri managed trade and diplomacy on behalf of the Nri people. So let's keep going. Then the capital of the Nri Kingdom is believed to be in Ibuku, the present Ibuku. That's why if you come to Ibuku today, you will see a museum, because they found a lot of artifacts around that area where these things were kept. So they decided to form a museum there, which is still present today. So Ibuku is believed to be the capital of that Nri Kingdom in those ancient days. Just follow me, be patient and follow me gradually. We are going somewhere. Then, let me just talk briefly on the history of the Nri Kingdom. That's some other part of history. The Nri Kingdom is a kingdom within the Igbo area of Nigeria, Nri and Aguleri, where the Umueri Igbo creation myth originates. They are in the territory of the Umueri clan, who trace their lineages back to the patriarchal king figure, Eri. But Eri origin is unclear, though he has been described as a sky being sent by Chukwu, God. He fell from sky. He is credited with first giving societal order to the people of Anambra. It is believed that Eri came and then established civilization. One of the better known remnants of Eri's civilization is manifested in the Ibuku artifacts, just like I said before. The artifacts there in Ibuku explains some of these things. I remember one time, it was in the news, the Israelites came, the Jews came, they discovered that some deities in Anambra, where Umule reside and the rest, has similar name with the ones they found in their area. You see the connection, but we are not talking about that. Our concentration is on this, little history of the area. Then one of the better known remnants, like I said, I've mentioned that. Then Nri cultures permanently influence the northern and western Igbo, especially through religions and taboos. So that is it. Up to today, the cultures of Nri, it has influenced the religion and taboos. It can be reflected in other parts of Igbo. Parts of Igbo culture and activities. So, having said that, let me just give a little explanation on this road we are now. This road is under construction by the present administration. This is the road that leads to Onitsha main market. That's the major road from immediately you enter Onitsha. Bam. This road leads to main market, and the road is still under construction. So that is it. But we are going to drive down towards that main market so that you have a view of that area. Then you see that River Niger is just the same boundary with the main market. They are the same place. That's why sometimes when flood occurs, it comes into some part of main market, just some little part of main market, not the major part. Some little part of the main market will be affected. Though it's assumed that this side of Anambra is a bit higher than that of Asaba side. That's the upland. So usually when flood comes, it goes more on the other side than this side. Probably that's why development towards that axis is scanty, because anything that will be built there needs a serious attention. Though there are some big investment towards that side, but it stays scanty than this Onitsha side. So let's continue. This market is called Biafra Market, according to the name. If you reach here, you've not even gone to main market. The main market is still inside, though the market is kind of expanding. Every day people are expanding, more people are coming into Onitsha, population keeps growing, more businesses are springing up. So you find out that people need to balance things up by establishing more businesses at other places. So, but we are still going down, just for you to have a good look of the area. But I bet you this road now needs serious attention from the government. Personally, if you ask me, this road is a very busy road. It ought to be dualized, but I don't know the possibility. Because the area in questions may not contain dual carriageway. That is another thing. But if really government is determined to do that, it can still be done, because this is one of the major areas that gives government revenue. So as an individual and as a business person, even corporate organization, or even in your family, you don't joke with the source of your income. Anywhere you are, you don't joke with the source of your income. Anything that will affect the source of your income, you will never allow it to happen. So the same thing applies to corporate organization, even authorities, as in organizations like states. You can assume states like that. This is where people make money. This is where government make money, generate revenue. So I still believe that it deserved to be given utmost respect, so that it will be preserved. Nothing will happen to the government pot of soup. I call it pot of soup, a kind of cash cow to the government. So it's not supposed to be played with. All those areas that generate money need special attention. You don't need a doctorate degree to understand these things, because these are the things that we deal with on daily basis as a human being. So having said that, let's go to our discussion. So this is DMGS roundabout. By the right, you are moving down to main market, that is New Market Road, that is DMGS itself. That's good. There is DMGS. Down there you're gonna meet CKC Onitsha. So we've taken our time to move around and as well be doing justice to our topic. Now we are going into the big discussion. The big discussion now is, how come with all these assertions from people that believe that Onitsha people migrated from Benin to Onitsha, which I said is correct. Then the other assertion is that it was only one man that came and settled from Benin. He married women from Anambra State and started having children. My brother, my sister, this is still correct from the big picture that we have gotten. Then, another one asserted that why is it that Obi of Onitsha is bearing the same name as other Obis in Delta State, which are their brothers. Person is saying that they came from Benin and they are bearing Obis, which is still correct from the story that we are going to present. Then the last one was that there was a misunderstanding within the royal family in Benin that made some of the members known as Umuezechima or Umuezechime, which one, to sojourn away from the land and settled first in the Seluku, and later some moved further towards down, that is the present Onitsha, which is also correct. So now let me give you the story according to the elder that gave us this story, and the elder is from that Onitsha Aziz. Then, before I started talking about the Nri Kingdom and the Nri Kingdom, when you listen, you see the reason why I had to bring in this kingdom, because it's part of the story. We were told that the story goes like this. We were told that ancient Nri Kingdom is in existence. So it is an ancient kingdom that dominates those part of Igbo. Then there is Benin Kingdom also. The Benin Kingdom is there in existence, doing their own thing, just like every other kingdoms, probably the Gala Kingdom and every other kingdom. Then the man said that people usually move from one kingdom and sojourn away for greener pasture, just like what is happening today. Some people can decide to move and they move to other places and stay there for a long time. Probably it's their children that may decide to come back, or their children's children, grandchildren. So something like that. So, according to him, he said that kingdom of Nri, some people moved. Then at a point, these Onitsha people, probably then it could be one man, it could be two people, I don't know. But there was a movement from that kingdom of Nri searching for greener pasture. So he decided to move out, because some people, probably his brothers and other people, they are moving. Some may decide to move. In a village of Nri, some decide to move, some will stay, just like that. Some have moved. He decided to move, and he sojourned towards Benin. probably as a group or maybe himself. So he went to Benin, finally landed in Benin, and actually he discovered that Benin is a bit advanced more than where he's coming from, probably, but it's still in quotes. But the thing is that probably it's not advanced, but he met another kingdom of Benin to learn more, to get, for just seeking for greener pasture. So staying in Benin for a very long time, he was accepted and he stayed there for a very long time, married and still breeding, bearing children and the rest. So, but at a point, there was a serious misunderstanding. There was a serious misunderstanding in that settlement in Benin. So, but he and his people that came from Nri in Anambra State or from Nri Kingdom has, gained a lot of knowledge and imbibed some culture about Benin people. You see to the story now. So just listen. And you see, from what I've said so far, is going in line with every other, or some, at this point now, some of the assertions from other people. You see to it. So, this man, they have the misunderstanding. So he made up his mind that they are going to leave Benin. They are going to move back from where they are coming from. Probably the misunderstanding was so much, maybe their lives, they are in danger and the rest. So they moved out of Benin, going back to where they come from. You see to the story now. Okay. As they were coming back, just, almost nearing to cross the River Niger, probably they decided to, let's see if they can just settle in some of this, in the other side of the river, as in that Delta State side. But they were met with resistance, according to the story. So in every point they were met with resistance, they moved. Probably, I don't know how they agreed on that. Maybe some people remained behind, according to the story. Some of them remained behind, or they were part of the agreement. Some will remain behind, some will leave. So they keep going, moving towards the eastern side where they came from. At a point again, they will have a kind of fight with the indigenes of that place, and some of them will remain. Some will move again. That's how they keep moving, till finally they came down to Onitsha. Still met one or two people in Onitsha, according to the story. But they integrated themselves. Maybe they have some quarrels and the rest, but they later agreed because land is large. People have enough land that they cannot occupy more. They cannot finish occupying them. So there's nothing like, the only thing that can happen, the worst thing that can happen is that, we are going to occupy this side, you stay this side, we stay this side. Maybe at a point, there may be agreement that people will start doing things together. So in Onitsha, when they arrived on Onitsha, the last group, they still met some people there in Onitsha. You see the thing. Then the story still goes and explains that those places that some of them dropped in Delta State, that they still bear the name Onitsha, Onitsha Ukwu, Onitsha Ugbo, Iselu Ukwu, all those names, all those towns that are their brothers. They are actually their brothers. That they left them there. They settled those places that are mentioned that they dropped their brother. They are still their brothers up to today. And some of them retain the name Onitsha. So then down to Onitsha, they now settle down in Onitsha with some people there. Then the man that gave this story also mentioned that some Igala people are there that time. Also, some Igala people reside in Onitsha. And some other people towards that Nkisi side, they reside there also. So at a point, they started doing things in common. That's how the story is. Then you come to ask yourself this question. People that said that Onitsha is from Benin, that did not trace this origin from Nri to Benin, how come they are bearing the name Umuezechima? Because their names is still there. The only thing now that is not clear is how the name Onitsha came to be, but no further information on that. But the thing is that they bear their names. They sojourned away from Nri Kingdom to Benin, and they had issued. Probably they were chased away or they decided to return home. So they returned home and scattered themselves. Some landed in Onitsha finally, some in some other places. And the man still let us know that it's not only Onitsha that had such travel, other people travel too. Even they made mention of Obosi own, how Obosi came from somewhere where from that Nri axis too, with their brothers. How they came to settle in Obosi. One went to Alo, one went to Ibuzo, and so if you watch this story now, you understand that this belief that Onitsha people migrated from Benin down to Onitsha. It is true. The assertion is true. Because the people that, if they have moved from Nri Kingdom to Benin, and they came from Benin to Onitsha. Yes, they came from Benin to Onitsha. Probably the story was not complete for the people that said it. As in it was not started from the beginning. Okay. Then the other assertion that said that it was only one man that came and settled from Benin. He married women from Anambra State and started having children, which is still true. Probably it's more than one man that came from that Benin after he left those behind, and he had to come and occupy Benin. Because at that point, people that have traveled, they have been exposed the more. They have more exposure than the locals there. So it's just like what people used to say, a traveler has more wisdom. So if you have traveled a lot, you understand people a lot. So these people, they believe that they've understand people a lot. That's why they venture into a lot of things, even education and the rest, at that initial time, almost moving ahead of others. Okay, I'm not saying that other towns and villages, they are not great. They are all great, but understand what we are saying. That since they have sojourned, their eyes open more. You see, they have more exposure than some of the other people around. Then the other assertion that said that Obi of Onitsha is bearing the same name as Obi, the head of towns in Delta State, some areas in Delta State, which is true. These are the people that their brothers that they left over there, that they gave settlement before coming down. So they do things in common. It's just like they use that side to settle themselves as they were coming. Since they are not going, probably they decided that they are not going back completely to the heart of Nri Kingdom. So since all these areas are still part of Nri, they've decided to settle there. So you see to it, those other people, they are still their brothers. Till present day, I'm telling you, till present day, go and verify. You say Luku, Onichuku, all those areas, they have a relationship with Onitsha people. It is that same group. So they fashion their own traditional system the way it will suit them. Obi is an Igbo name, though I stand to be corrected. So they fashion it the way they like and the way it will suit them. Okay? Maybe if I had that opportunity, I would have mentioned these towns that has things in common, the brothers to these Onitsha people. The brothers. Maybe if I had time, I didn't remember it, I would have just asked one or two to mention them. I would have mentioned them. But you know it, if you research, you find out these towns and they have things in common with Onitsha. They do similar things. And these other people that are in Onitsha, maybe the other strangers, probably the Ikogi people, the what do they call, the Gala people, they have their own. Nothing stops them from practicing their own traditional way of things. So they have their own way. The culture of Onitsha does not stop them from doing their own thing the way they do. Though they take chieftaincy titles and every other thing, but they still do the things they do among themselves, their own tradition. Okay? Then, and lastly, the one that talked about that there was a misunderstanding within the royal family in Benin that made some of the members known as Umuezechima or Umuezechime to sojourn away from the land and settle first in Iseluku and later move down further to Onitsha. You see, the story is still concord to what we are saying. That they had misunderstanding from Benin. Yes, according to the story. Probably their lives were threatened and the rest. So they decided to move. They moved down back home from where they are coming. Do we get the whole story now? The whole story is very clear. There is nothing confusing. Okay? So these people, they moved back home and settled from the side they were coming from. Then there were large spaces of land. Once you feel like coming to those areas, anywhere you feel like settling, you settle. Probably if anybody is living close to you, probably the next person living close to you is about 50 kilometers away. Maybe one day if you people meet, you agree that, okay, this is your boundary now. You don't cross this side. Let this side belongs to me. Those are the ways that they function those days. And there is no much problem because people there was few. So land is nothing to them. Settlement is no problem. And some people can be very stubborn. Can be very stubborn in their nature. They don't want this, I want to leave. Let me leave this area and go to my own place where I want. Those stuffs like that. So these are the things that played out according to the story. This story is not stamped, as in it's not by force you believe it or understand it or believe it. It's not by force, but the story looks more real and understandable than those ones that are in pieces. The other ones we've been hearing is just in pieces. This one looks solid. I don't know how I will classify it, but I've just told you a story from an elder, from the place, this area we are talking about now. So if you wish, you can still make your own conclusion, or you say your own mind. It's all for good. But here in Younger Life, we thought that you cannot just leave that story hanging, because it's a bit hanging, because we dwelt on that issue so much in our previous presentation about Onitsha. So God's willing, the whole story came out in this form. And this form that it came out is quite understandable. So, but if anybody has something different, he wants to tell us, fine and good. We are all ears, itching to hear the other side of the story. But when it comes to history, people try to make effort to keep the story straight. The effort we are making is to preserve history, preserve the origin of our people, so that the future people will understand the history and where they are coming from, and there will be no confusion to the whole thing. Okay? So that is it. I think we have done justice to that story. But still in Onitsha, this is Opiweka interchange. According to people's observation ab initio in some of our videos, they make their displeasure that Onitsha is not clean enough. Some even went as far as complaining about sand, that there are sands everywhere. Then in one of my videos, I talked about, since I've seen that people make mention of road all the time, road, sand, litter. So we decided to bring out, in one of our recent previous videos, we bring out the standard, what makes a city a standard city. And we dwelt much on the road, because road is very important to the population, people living in that city. So what am I saying? That the complaint is too much about Onitsha being littered, and the waste system or waste management system is not working out the way it's supposed to. You know, that Onitsha has more population that generates waste, so it needs either a mechanized or improved system of waste management. But please, let me still remind us, as we are nearing conclusion gradually, if you have not subscribed to this channel, click on the subscription. You are going to learn a lot. Click on the subscription, like this video and other videos from us. Share our videos. Let people make their own contributions, because we are in a big school and we are learning. Let people contribute to what we are saying. Let's hear their view. Okay? So that is it. Now we are still along the expressway. The other side is Coca-Cola Market. This side is Fege. People are making requests. I don't know, the requests are coming in so much. I remember some have requested that they want to see Fege area. Then some Omaba, they want to see details of Omaba area. Then again, another request is coming for Nkisi to Omalema area. They want to see those axes. Haha. Well, we have not been disappointing you guys, and I believe we will not disappoint. We will continue to make our efforts to ensure that we give you what you want. But the only thing you can do for us to encourage us in doing these things is when you share our videos. Let the video has meaning to people. Because when you produce something and people don't like it, people don't buy it, you feel discouraged and you find another way. But if you are producing these videos and people are interested by their comments and everything, sharing the videos for others to say, that's how we get encouragement to move ahead, to produce more videos and to meet up with your own demand. Because it's not just an easy thing to meet up with demand. You can imagine it. You can imagine what it takes to meet up your demand when it comes to coverage. So, but we don't bother anybody. We bear the brunt. We take up the responsibility, being that we are committed. We are committed to give you what you want, the way you want it naturally. That's what we do. And we have been meeting up to that demand and expectation. So, like I was saying, the two areas majorly, the two areas people complain a lot about Onitsha is the waste management is too poor and the road construction, that there is no road with walkway. And that made us to make presentation that shows and explains how a road should look like in a city. If you have road in a city is not just road is not just for human being. I think that's as in road is not just for motorists. That is where we are missing the point. Road, there are many users of the road. We have vehicles use the road, then motorcycles, bicycles, they are road users. Then pedestrians, ndi jukwu aga, they are road users. Okay? Then and other road users too. So you must make provisions to these people. According to United Nations standard, there must be provision for these people. That shows that we are meeting up to a decade of action, according to United Nations. So if you are having an access road, you must make provisions for the vehicles, four-wheeled vehicles. One, you must make provisions for the bicycle lane. We talk about bicycle lane because it is their right. You don't go and expose them with vehicles on the same road. It is wrong. You can read the highway code or any other traffic this thing. Though it might not be expressly explained there, but that is the standard. Bicycle should have his own lane, his own way. Then, must in a city, there should be a pedestrian walkway because they have the right to move along the road, and you don't go and expose them with cars or with articulated vehicles. You do not. It is their right to move with leg. And these days, people are being encouraged to exercise, to use bicycle and to walk on the street. So how do you expect them to do this walking if there is no provision for them to walk on the street? You see the problem now. So the earlier the better. The government and people in authorities, please let's start making provisions for this on our streets, on our roads. And in my previous video, I've explained these things the way it is clear and the way people understand it. Road is not meant for just car or trucks to move, and nothing happens to every other road user. And you want road users they want them to move along with trucks on the road so that vehicle will come and jam them. That is a wrong planning. Even if it's one or two roads that we are able to get right, let it be. Then the other administration comes, they will do similar ones that are standard. Instead of scattering death traps. I'm not referring to any particular road or any particular city. Everywhere, every city. This one, some of them say they have covered drainage. Those things that are very dangerous, that if you hit your leg, it will injure you. It's just something that will just come and cover the drainage. It's not a proper walkway. A proper walkway should be fine and, smooth. So let's see how we'll get these things done. Okay? So, but gradually we are coming to the end of this video. I want to thank you for coming along with me. We promise to bring you more videos soon. I am still Chinedu by name. So, bye for now until I come your way next time. Bye.